Okay, so. What is giving me that noise? Is it you? Oof. Not you. Ah, yes, it is the microphone. The microphone, okay. Let's see. Hitting about... So, sorry, I just wanted to get my noise levels correct. This is my second attempt at live stream today, because the first time I made a couple mistakes. One of them was I started streaming while hungry. So I was sitting there like going insane, thinking, oh no, I'm stuck. I'm stuck here without eating. So I started getting like, hangry. Here, I'm just sharing the link real quick. There we go. Just in case a friend or two wants to join. A friend of mine joined also before and was chatting, and I just completely didn't see it. So I'll try to keep an eye out for that. For some reason, OBS's chat was not working for me. So I need to figure that out. Okay. I have a little bit of noise still surviving. The funny thing, I mentioned this in the previous live stream, which is now uploaded as a separate video, that I got the perfect sounds, like audio staging, getting the clear synthesizer coming through, and not having to deal with the noise floor that my microphone, which is a little finicky, has. But Windows wants to set its gain adjustment itself, which is very annoying to deal with. So I'll need to figure out how to handle that later. I also cut the video short for a second reason. Before was the stream today was supposed to be a unboxing of... Is that backwards? Oh, that's backwards. Hold on a second. My video's inverted. There we go. Okay, is that readable now? Yeah, there we go. Beads. So it's supposed to be an unboxing of beads. And like I was gonna, open the box. Here it is. I was gonna like, oh, here's the toy you get too. Okay. Problem was when here's the manual, by the way, and the lovely little Mutable sticker. The problem with this theory, I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to do an unboxing. It's going to be exciting. Is I plugged in beads, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I get through a big chunk talking about clouds and Mutable, which is fun. I was having fun with clouds. Here. Let's get that all sealed back up. I'll read the manual later. So I got the beads all set up, and I couldn't get the damn thing to work. I was just like, what? How do you make this thing do the thing? Turns out, here, how about this? This is like my, full setup, so you can see the rack, you can see the keyboard. This case doesn't matter yet. So let's move the camera. Zoom in. Let's see if this works. There we go. Not quite what I want. It's like almost my obsession to get this level. There. A little better. Oh, it's gonna frustrate me. There. So anyway, so I had, hopefully that. Go dark, please. Oh, the joys of trying to live stream where everything can go wrong. Okay. And the lighting sucks too. Okay. We'll just have to live with that. Hopefully it's not too bad. So anyway, as I was saying, I get this guy plugged in, right? Beats right here. So here's clouds. By the way, now you can actually see clouds. Before I was moving things and you couldn't see. Okay, anyway, I'm plugging Beats. I'm thinking, all right, it's going to be kind of like clouds. I'm going to feed it sounds. It's going to be fun. Problem is, since I didn't look at the manual whatsoever, and I haven't watched any videos on Beats in a long time, so I didn't have any feel for how it worked. So I couldn't get the thing to actually give me sound. I was able to get the reverb working, and I was thinking, okay, here's the reverb. So here's dry. Here's reverb. Okay, so I was getting that working, but I couldn't get the granular synthesis part to work. Because for clouds, it's pretty straightforward, or at least maybe I've just spent enough time with it that I understood. But I couldn't get this guy to do it, and the reason is you need to have the seed, this green guy, latched. So if I press that right now and go, let's go to full wet. So this knob is wet dry, turned it to full wet. So it's processing all this. Only hear the process part. I don't hear the original sound. If this is not latched, okay, I'm pressing buttons. You can see the audio input is doing the thing, right? Audio is coming in, but there's no sound, right? Where's the sound? And I basically just stopped the live stream. It's like, okay, this is a disaster. What? How do I salvage this? Turns out, when you're with Beats, the seed button is two things. Beats won't do anything unless you're telling it to do something. So in this case, if I'm playing a note, I can basically say, hey, play a grain of sound from what's coming in when I push this button. Ooh, is someone messaging me? Who is messaging me? Friend of mine is saying, at about 4 minutes you say this is backwards, and then you invert the feed. Now it's actually backwards? Oh no. That was Oh, that was 6 minutes ago. I It was right the first time. Okay, he's messaging on Discord, so is it bad right now? There's also a 40-second delay, which is fun. All right, he's typing. The suspense is killing me. It's a clean feed, it's just inverted. Oh, and there is not a 40-second delay. Well, here, let's try fixing that. Perfect, you got it now. All right, this is blowing my mind a little bit because on my screen, everything's now backwards. Like instead of this saying plates, I'm reading statoplos. Oh, I don't understand. That's weird. That's super strange. Well, who knows? I'm very curious if this is going to record correctly or not. So, another joy of live streaming. You have no idea if any of this is working. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, I can trigger the grains. So I'm playing notes. You don't see my hand playing, but I'm clicking notes. And now I'm pressing this button, and the sound is coming in. Oops. But it doesn't play until I press that button. And what it's doing is there's a buffer. There's a sample of sound that it has, and it's picking a piece of it and playing that piece. Okay. Now, if you hold this button down, wait for it. There we go. Now it's going to hold on. So now when I press play note, again, we're in full wet. So none of the original sound is coming through, just the wet sound. There we go. Cool. You can hear that that swingingness. So the density is now controlling how frequently we're hearing grains. So let's make it like super rare. There we go. So now you can hear this like wah, 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 wah. If I go to the other side, now it's going to be sort of chaotic and random. So let's go back to a nice frequent. And we can speed that up. Okay. Anyway, that's how you have to make sure this is latched on, is the moral. Okay. Another fun thing. So Beads is quite a bit more complicated than Clouds because to me, I've used Monsoon here, but it's effectively Clouds. I've used it quite a bit, so I was just like thinking, oh, it's going to be similar in complexity, but Beads is quite a bit more complex. It was not immediately obvious to me how this worked, so I spent about 2 minutes just thumbing through the manual to get my bearings. So now that we have the latch on, we can change. We can also change the shape of the grain. So this shape is very similar to the texture on the original Clouds. So this chooses the shape of the grain. Like how is it cut? Is it like a hard cut like a knife, or is it more smoothed out? So the shape is similar texture. Size of the grain, again, like size. However, this is interesting. You don't just get forward, you get also inverted. So now it's a little hard to tell here. There we go. Oh, here now it's easy. The grain's playing, and the grain is playing backwards, which is fun. That really sounds cool, actually. Okay, I'm digging that. That was pretty cool. Okay, so that's size. So you can do forward, of course, as well. Oops, let's quiet that down a little bit. So anyway, you can pick the size of the grain. And then the time. So this knob here, time, sweeps you through the buffer. So if you think about it, you send sound into the module and it's recording it. And it does 4 seconds in this mode here, I believe. Oh, I closed the manual out already. Anyway, there's 4 modes. It's mono, stereo, mono. No, sorry. Stereo, mono, stereo, mono. So if I remember correctly, it's 4 seconds stereo. Oh, sorry. It's 4 seconds in stereo, 8 seconds in mono. So it now will record twice as much sound, but it'll only do it in mono. And this is the 2 high quality settings. We can also go to low quality. It's the 3rd one. And in this mode, we have stereo, but it's burnt a little bit. It's going to be a lower bit rate. And then I've seen the final mode, which is mono low quality, is compared to kind of like a burnt cassette tape, where it's like kind of lo-fi in a way. Here, let's make that louder. And now I'm going to show you the difference between this sound, which is high quality, I'm not sure if that's coming through how YouTube handles sound, but to my ears, it is definitely not as high quality. It's like burnt. Kind of reminds me of like if someone threw the sound through like a bit crusher. Let's go back to high quality. Yeah, it's a lot cleaner now in the high quality mode. Anyway, but if you're doing like lo-fi or you want to just have a huge buffer, I think it's like 32 seconds or something, you can do mono low quality and have almost a little over 30 seconds of recording time. So you can spend you can put a lot, you can feed a lot. And then the fun thing is you can, so this is similar to how clouds and beads they share the freeze button. So on here, it's this button right here. For beads, it's this button right here. What that does is it says stop recording, just hold what you got. So if you got 30 seconds or 4 seconds, whichever mode you're in, it just holds that sound, and then you can scrub through it. And again, this is very similar to how clouds works. Oops, too loud. Throw a compressor on next time I do this. So what we're gonna do Sure. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I think this thing, we're in 4-second mode. Okay. So not that we need 4 seconds, right? I'm running mono anyway. Like I'm not even using the stereo. But in any case, we're in high quality mode, 4 seconds. There we go. Okay, just froze it. Okay. So now I'm not playing anything right now. The module's just doing its own thing. My hands are here. So let's shorten the grain there. And let's get out of latch mode. So now I'm manually choosing when to play a grain. So let's make the grain sort of long. It's almost like one note. So we recorded in that little melody, right? That's what we recorded in. So I'm playing like a note in the melody. But now if I turn the time knob, my hand is in the way of my, yeah, okay. But you guys can see? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so this part of the buffer is actually empty. So it's literally, we're going up and down the tape. So we have sound, 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 and then nothing. There's nothing down here. So the very end of the buffer is actually empty. I didn't record a full 4 seconds. But so if I make that, so right now, is this set? Oh, it's in loop mode. Okay, okay. So what's happening here is I set the size of the grain to essentially be delay. Let's go out of that mode. Okay. So if I press this once. Okay, so it's not continuous. See, here's what I was thinking it would do. So this is, I'm learning here, is I thought the size would be up to the length of the buffer. Because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh, I get to pick how big the grain is. I recorded 4 seconds. Presumably, I can make a 4-second grain. I'm almost at the loop mode, the infinity. But I'm only getting a second or so grain. Now I'm going to max it out. So now we're just looping the entire buffer. But if I move out of delay mode, I think it'll stop. No, it's still going. Okay, now we're out. Okay. So, all right. So, what I've discovered here, and I don't know if you can change this, but the grain size does have seems like a second. Feels like a second grain size. So I'm only playing 1/4 of the buffer. So if I move, say, to this position, sorry, you can't see. If I move this, I'm slightly in a different spot where we're going to start. Let's keep moving around. Very fun. Okay, so that allows us to move around the buffer. Okay, so regardless of how big your grain size is, so right now we have it set to about a second. Yeah, so the buffer's like going to play about 1 second of sound. If I move the density, however, it's going to yeah, it's going to loop like that. Okay, so I'm holding it. Let's put it in latch mode. Yeah. So what's going to happen is obviously the grain is bigger than the frequency I'm playing the sound. So it's going to cut off. I do not know if this is polyphonic though. So here, let's stop it. When you let's move the camera back out. Get us slightly. We'll figure this out. There we go. You can see the keyboard now. Okay, so here's rings. So the fun thing about rings is that it has, I'm currently in 4-voice mode. So with rings, when you play a note and then immediately play a second note, it doesn't kill the sound from the original. So generally speaking, monophonic synthesizers can't play more than one sound at once. But rings can play up to 4. But you can't press 4 notes at once, so you can't play a chord. So this doesn't work. Oh, sorry, we're in let's go to dry. There we go. So now we're dry. I did not play, a 3 chord here, a major chord. The reason is it's only going to play one of these notes, and then whatever was the last finger I pressed will be the pitch ultimately. But what I can do is sort of strum it. So there we go. So the fun thing here is because I did that, it doesn't kill the sound of each subsequent note. It actually plays all 3. So if you do it really fast, you can basically play a chord out of it, but there's going to be like a slight strum effect. That's just how rings works. You can set it to 1 note at a time. And you can hear in this version, only that 3rd note is actually going to keep ringing, while the first 2 notes got cut off. Versus now we're going to get all 3. So we actually have a chord playing. So anyway, the reason I'm telling this story about rings is I'm not sure in beads if you have the density at a shorter frequency period than the size of the grain. I'm not sure if you're going to end up with overlapping grains and have multiple grains playing at once, because very similar to most modular stuff. Oops, let's go. You can only play 1 grain at a time, but I do not know if they can overlap. So that's something I'll have to check out in the manual, because that would be an interesting thing to find out. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about this guy? I think we covered the basics. What I'd like to do, one other big feature. This is something that really confused me. Sorry, I apologize if this is going to make a popping noise, but oh, no, we're good. So one thing that confused me about beads is when you plug in a sound source, this blinks. I had no idea what that meant. What it is doing is it's sampling the incoming sound and auto gaining. So it's actually adjusting the input volume automatically through its internal software, and that is essentially gonna tell how loud the output will end up being too. So it basically tries to boost quiet sounds and drop or limit anything clipping, which weirded me out because there's no module I have ever seen or heard of that does this. Everything else just says, hey, if you clip, so be it. Like if you want to put in loud shit, there you go. It doesn't stop you. This, however, will try to smooth things out. You can turn this feature off. I believe I have to look up in the manual exactly the button combo for it, but I think you can turn that off. The other thing that's interesting is if you have no sound source. So we're going to unplug rings. No more rings. Here, I'm removing the cable. I mean it. We're not using rings anymore. This guy has some of the algorithms that plates has. So this thing can just has its own digital synthesizer built in. Let's see if I can get it to work. Let's see. Turn off the freeze. Okay, so another thing you can do is if we had the freeze on, this means that it had the melody we played. And so we can actually play beads at its own synthesizer using the recorded sample we had. I'm not sure if you can save the samples, because in Cloud you can. I don't know if Beads can. But the fun thing is then you could record a sound, like literally plug in a microphone into Beads, like scream into it, freeze, grab the buffer, and then hook up a keyboard to it, and now play your own, like, I don't know, you screamed into the thing, the buffer has your voice, and then you can volt per octave play your recording, which is fun. The other thing, though, if we turn this off, so now the buffer is going to empty out. So basically, the recording is now starting, and if I had this thing seated, now you can see as I move around the buffer. Okay, now it's already okay. It's in the mode I was going to talk about, but before it went into this mode, what would have happened is as I was seeding and moving around the buffer, I would have emptied out. I would have noticed the grains leaving, kind of just like first one in, last one out kind of thing. Now, though, there's no input sound. So actually here, let me go back to showing you what that is like. So here, I'm moving around the buffer, and there's absolutely nothing in it. It's empty. Let's put a sound in there. That should, think that'll do something. Sorry, you can sometimes seed noise into something by just plugging in a loose Eurorack cable and then thumbing the end. So I'm just kind of curious if that's actually working. Oh, it is working. Cool. So there we go. You can hear it now. Yeah. Anyway, so let's save this. All right. So now let's go to wet. Very cool. Okay, so I got my buffer with some like jank noise. What I can do is if I hit freeze and I'm going to go to the end of the buffer, so I'm going to the very end, I'm going to watch it basically. We're going to see right now the beginning of the buffer is going to move to the end as it clears out. So let's hit unfreeze. I'm going to hit seed. can hear the noise, and then it's gone. So now if I hit freeze again, this is basically empty everywhere. Okay, that's what I wanted to show. Now we unplug things. No more input. Oh, I got another message. Who's messaging me? Okay. Whoever it was is not important. Okay. So now let's unfreeze. This thing has some of the same digital oscillators that Plates has. So Plates is a pretty useful, versatile macro oscillator. It basically is just a full synth voice on its own. So this thing can do a lot. Some of the algorithms in Plates are found all over the place. There's the Micro Freak, I believe, has some Plates algorithms in it, and some Behringer modules do as well. Because all of the Mutable stuff is open source, many companies are using software in these modules in their own products. Anyway, some of the Plate stuff has been put into Beads. So unlike Clouds, which can't make noise on its own, Beads can actually just play itself. You can just run an out and not even have an input. So now if okay. So what's happening is it's picked one of the algorithms from Plates, and if I go to dry, you'll hear it. It'll be like a tone. All right, let's drop the pitch there. Okay. So it's just playing a solid tone. Basically, it's acting like an oscillator. It's just giving us something. Let's change the algorithm, which you can change with this knob here. So you can see we're scrubbing the different Okay, so we were scrubbing through the different oscillators available, and these knobs now can change parameters of those oscillators. So in the same way that you can choose like the timbre and stuff and Plates, you can do the same thing in Beads. So we picked a sound. Let's pick the sound. That kind of like Blade Runner pad, right? Like you could imagine like making a Blade Runner sound out of that. What we're going to do is let's pick a seed size, a shape, and I think time is the timbre, I think. Very cool. Let's set the density to noon. Okay. Very cool. Let's now rewire things. Okay. So volt per octave can go to pitch. Let's take the gate, which is this red cable, and let's seed it or put it into seed. There we go. And then the modulation, let's throw onto the time, which is the timbre. I think. Okay, so now if I play a key, hopefully if this worked, we'll get a sound. Hey, it worked. Okay, it's just super high. Let's drop the pitch. Okay, cool. Throw some reverb onto that. Let's make a different sound. Oh, it's funny. This one I recognize. This is an algorithm that exists in beads, in plats, and it's in rings. So basically, this is the simple version of rings that exists now in 3 separate modules here. So in principle, I could make a true polyphonic rings setup here, because I could have the rings algorithm in beads, the rings algorithm in plats, and then just grab, rings and literally do a 3-voice, synthesizer of just rings without having to buy 3 rings. Not that the price is all that much different. Beads and plats aren't cheap. But anyway, so we have... Cool. Okay, so the mod works. Let's throw the mod on something else. How about... What does density do? Okay, so the envelopes are not infinite as far as I can tell. So I can't just hold a note open forever. At least I don't think I can. Yeah, okay. So if you want to... I'll have to look if there's a way to do that. Yeah, let's pick a different algorithm, because we said we'd leave rings behind. Ooh, that sounds cool. This is not tuned whatsoever. Okay, yeah, so this is the envelope length, so for size. Okay, so as far as I can tell, you can't have an infinite... that's really loud. My bad. You can't have... Let's drop that. Oh, that didn't work. For some reason, I feel like this isn't volt per octave. Or at least it doesn't feel like it is. Do I have it set this right? Yeah, pitch. Huh. I don't have a great ear for this thing, so it doesn't feel to me that I'm actually getting a proper volt per octave here. Well. Yeah, no, that doesn't feel right at all. Because, here, we're let's walk down the keys here. Yeah, I have something not hooked up right, or I'm not sure where I'm going wrong. Because we... That or the envelope's not retriggering. I wonder if that's it. Let's make the envelope really short. Okay, so I'm pressing the same key over and over again, and I'm getting different sounds out each time. So what the heck's going on there? Wait, this is giving us the solid tone, right? Oh, here. Maybe I should have said the obvious. If you do want to use this like a proper oscillator, use dry. So you just get a tone out, and then feed this to, you know, a VCA like over here, and give it an envelope. So then you could actually use this as just a straight oscillator if you want. But you hear this. This is what's weirding me out. Is I'm just tapping this one key, but getting different. That's odd. I don't quite understand that. Not sure where. I had the. Yeah, I'll have to mess around later. I am not fully understanding how the macro oscillators here work. I'm wondering if, because right now we're using the wet, so the fully processed sound. Yeah, so hear this. When I seed, I'm getting kind of like a random spread of things. I'm not getting just the same tone. Oh, well, okay. Sorry. I said something dumb. The gate is going into seed. So tapping this button is literally the same as tapping a key. It's just that I'm also sending pitch information from the keys into here as well. So let's unplug the pitch, right? So we're no more pitch. Yeah, okay. So it's definitely giving me some kind of randomization off of the seed. So yeah, you can't think of the Beads seed generator as like an envelope generator. That's not how it seems to function. There might be an alternative mode where it does, but at least out of the box, it doesn't do that. So that's good to know. So even with my 2-minute perusing of the manual, I am still learning a lot about how this thing works or doesn't work. Okay, but anyway, let's get to what I wanted to do, because what I wanted to do was feed beads into clouds and just cause some madness that way. So let's take the I want this to be here. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, you go away. I just like having the contact microphone on. Let's okay. It's quiet now. Why? Oh, because I have no out. Duh. Okay. Live patching is fun. So let's I'm grabbing a couple cables. So just give me a sec. Too many patch cables. Okay. So let's patch the out of beats into the in of clouds. And how do I want to modulate this? Do I want to feed anything in? So I'm trying to think of an interesting way to do this, because if I just leave it on the dry and feed dry beads without any input into clouds, this is really no different than just patching plats into clouds. So nothing special's really happened. So I'm wondering if we can do some internal patching. That might be fun. So let's do... Yeah, let's take advantage of the fact that we have stereo. So normally you think stereo left-right channels, but you can also think of it as a sort of not necessarily equivalent mult in a way. So technically there's going to be a left and right sound. They're not going to be the same because you have stereo width, but you could patch that, let's see, back into itself. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay, yeah, there we go. We got some feedback going. Oh boy. All right, all right. That's the fun thing about Eurorack, is you can do weird things like that. Okay, so my understanding here is okay. So I froze the buffer on Beads, which captured some sort of feedback, and now we're feeding that resulting feedback into clouds, and clouds is... Oh, I'm sorry. No. Reading the chord here. It's the orange one. So I actually just fed the right channel out into the left channel in. So that should presumably just be a copy of the left channel when I did that feedback. By the way, you don't have to do this self-patching for feedback, because there's a feedback knob right here, this guy. So that would have been internal feedback on its own. What I'm going to do eventually, after I finish patching, is I'm going to unfreeze this and grab a different piece of feedback. So in a way, there is just a nice automatic feedback, which does it for you. Both Clouds has a feedback knob, and, well, okay, I don't remember if the original Clouds has a feedback knob or not. This is Monsoon's slightly different, but this guy does. Beats does. So I'm not sure. Here, I'll put it another way. We're doing a form of feedback that's a little bit more choicey. We're picking our feedback more specifically than if you just had a feedback knob that you turned on and off. Okay, so let's make use of marbles here. So I'm running 120 BPM out of PAMs. I'm clocking marbles. Marbles is doing its thing. Let's use marbles for modulation. So let's grab... I want this to be my freeze. Let's see if that works. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't turn the freeze. Is it because I manually froze that... Here, this should... what I was expecting is that this should be blinking now as the freeze is turned on and off, in much the same way that if I do that here, there we go. So you can see what's happening is this 120 BPM clock is now turning the freeze on Monsoon on and off, on and off. I was expecting the same behavior with beads. It's not doing it. I'm wondering it's because I manually froze. So on the original, on at least how Monsoon works, I actually don't know if Original Clouds does this, but how Monsoon does things is if I turn on freeze and then feed it a clock, it will override. Here though, doesn't seem to do anything. If I unfreeze, okay, that's cool. So I can manually freeze beads regardless of if there's a clock. But if there is a clock and I turn off the manual freeze, here my hand's in the way, then it will flash. Very cool. Let's mold that. I want double freezes. So here I'll use the precision adder for this. Need another cable somewhere. So what I'm doing is I'm going to use, turn it on. So the precision adder can double as a mult. It's a Dope-for module up here. The A185-2. Okay, so what I'm doing is it's a splitter. I'm using it as a fancy splitter because I don't own any of the little cable splitters. I just have modules. Okay, so we're gonna feed the freeze into both. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is just, I'm trying to offset them. I want them to not blink together. That's weird. Why? Okay, so interesting. Is it feedback or something? Okay, so right now the clock is freezing on and off beads. And this molted copy of the clock should turn on and off the freezing here. But the interesting thing I was noticing is that as I'm like tapping the case here, so basically just feeding noise at this end, I can make this blink off time. Look at that, making it dance. I have no idea what that's about. Let's make it. Yeah, it's always gonna. Okay, so what I was hoping to do is have this off by one step, so then it would freeze, then it would just seesaw back and forth. That's what I was trying to do, but I need to offset the clock by one step, and that is something I can't easily do. At least I'm not thinking of it. If I invert this guy, no, okay, it does not take a negative clock. Sometimes modules will behave differently if you feed it a negative pulse rather than a positive pulse, but in this case it doesn't. All right, let's. So let's Turn the latch on. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm getting some. I'm getting some just wild, distorted thing. Okay. Let's. Fun. All right, cool. Let's feed in the pitch. All right, so my understanding right now is basically both of these have at some point some piece of sound has been mangled by this. It's very feedbacky, and they're basically feeding each other and alternating their freezing. So I would struggle to explain or understand exactly how this sound is being made at the moment, but something's doing it. Yeah, if you listen to it, it's not quite staying the same. So something's funky happening. Anyway, what I want to do is I'm going to take the pitch from the keyboard. I'm going to feed it into claps here. Pitch. Oh man! All right. So let's try this out. So the thing about Eurorack is you can make the sounds of hell very easily. Not very musical. But very strange. I almost like it on its own, not pressing any keys, because it's just like morphing and changing on its own. Like I'm not touching anything. Let's make this even weirder. I think one thing I can do is instead of clocking it, there we go. We're not going to clock it with a consistent thing. We're going to Oh, that sounds kind of musical. More than what we had a minute ago. Oh, I like this. Okay, I had no idea we'd get something fun like this. I was honestly just thinking it'd be trash the whole time. So this is fun. Okay, that's enjoyable. That is fun. I'm glad we found that sound after plugging in a little bit of madness into this. What else can we do to it? Let's see. Yeah, let's send an envelope. I'm gonna grab this like slow envelope from, I think what I have. What is this set to? All right. So this is a 120 BPM. This is a triangle envelope. It's just going to go up and down at 1/8 the clock speed. So 120 divided by 8, that's how many BPM is the cycle. Okay, we're going to grab that wave and feed it to the size. This is positive. Let's see if that cycles. Okay, I think if I put it dead middle, I'll give me something better. I got a bunch of envelopes here, so we can just plug things in and see what happens. Let's go with, okay, 7. You are, all right, so you're even slower. You're times 32, okay. So, you're a very slow envelope. Let's feed you to to say. So what I'm looking for is because the sound is so mangled that not all the controls will make a serious dent into it. So I'm looking for something. Oh, what'd that do? Okay, that was pretty cool. I accidentally cleared the buffer. I'm pretty sure what we're hearing here is basically a mixture of noise that's been reverbed to hell. So I turned down the reverb, and that basically it cleared the buffer out until some sort of noise came in and messed with it. We also have to contend with the fact that both Monsoon/Clouds has a buffer and Beats has a buffer, so they are both recording the audio at the same time, though this one's at 4 seconds and this one's currently on, I'm not sure, I want to say 1 second, but I have to look it up. I don't think they're synced, despite the fact that the freeze is synced. I don't think their buffers are lined up at all. So I think what happened is something from Monsoon came and fed back into Beads. Anyway, let's take. Let's do. Yeah, we can feed it into texture. So I was giving that some thought. Oh! Well, we've lost the musicality. Okay, we got the Banshee scream going. That was a question. Hello, Alyssa. How you doing? I don't see a timestamp, so I don't know how long that's been there. So currently, we're currently using about, I want to say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules looked up, synced up together. But anyway, as I was saying a second ago, we've lost the nice, pleasant musical bit, and now we have this banshee scream of a sound. That's clipping hard. Okay. You can see this is in meter mode, so. Well, if anybody's looking for a horror movie score, we've found it. Let's see. Let's see if I can dial this back in. Well. that's funny. So, sorry for the ear-piercing sound. Can I drop that? Huh. Interesting. Let's stop the clock real quick. Oh, it's good. Let's unplug the freeze. So I'd like to do is get the buffer to clear. I think it's because they're feeding each other, so it won't clear that way. Okay. Nope, still doing a thing. Okay, I think we finally cleared it. Let's make something slightly less. Oh. Fed something into it. There we go. Now it's fully unplugged. It's like a zombie. You're trying to find out what the heck's still making it tick. You must destroy the brain. Okay, so let's take the left-right output and feed it linearly rather than doing this sort of self-patching business, internal patching. Okay. And now let's feed. I know I said no more rings. I'm going to bring it back, though, because rings is fun. Okay. Getting spaghetti chords. Let's get gate. And where the heck is pitch going? Ah, there it is. And your mod. Okay. Okay, I can live with this. Basically, read the wazoo. Yeah, so let's feed you, my friend, into structure. There we go. All right, I think I'm going to close out this live stream with that. That was fun. All right, I will see you guys, all one person. Until next time, take care.